Now, COVID-19 and the lockdown has disrupted all of our lives in the last 6 months, but there's a group that's thought to be hit harder, and that is women. According to the Institute for Fiscal Studies in the UK, mothers are more likely to have quit or lost their job, or to have been furloughed since the beginning of lockdown. Meanwhile, in the US, statistics from the National Women's Law Centre shows women have been disproportionately affected by COVID-19. So what is driving this divide? Well, let's discuss this with Linzi Boyd, who's founder of Business of Brand. Linzi, thanks for being on the programme. So why are women hit harder?
Well, you know, it's really interesting because it's now actually got a term around it, which is the Pink Recession in Australia and the She Recession in America. And interestingly, what's being said is there's really two key areas around this. One is that the industries that women are working in are specifically the industries that are being hit the most. You know, travel, tourism, retail, all those types of industries. And the second bigger topic is the fact that women, when the pandemic happened, had to take on the childcare, take on the home again, and they were having to juggle work and home. And at that point, they had to make a decision. Well, were they going to keep doing the job, or were they going to reduce the hours? And some businesses chose for them to reduce the hours or furlough them. And many women have decided not to go back to work yet until they're stable enough to understand what's going to happen next.
What do you think the long-term impact is then of this?
Well, I think until there's assurance as to actually what's going to happen, because children have gone back to school, but for how long? Nobody knows when there's a new wave coming, and there's no virus recovery that's come into play. And so until that point, there's a massive impact that's going to take place on women in the workplace, because to date, women are not yet the breadwinners in all homes, and there are some homes that they are and many homes that they aren't. And so there's a huge impact that has on the working life and the running of the family.
But there has to be some positives as well, would you say, in the sense that working from home has become much more normalised, and for many women that's a real benefit, isn't it? Who want to continue to work and try and be at home more as well?
Yeah, so interestingly, there's a double-edged sword, because when the lockdown happened and you were working from home, of course, there's a massive benefit to working from home, not having to travel in and being around the kids more. And childcare wasn't there, you didn't have your cleaner, you know, people weren't able to help you run the house and the kids, and people were homeschooling, and there was a huge juggle that took place. So now kids have gone back to school, you know, and people are still working from home. Hopefully there should be more normalization in that space, but until it stabilizes, who knows?
Who knows indeed. My 3 boys are at school at the moment, but for how long? We shall watch this space. Linzi, thank you very much indeed.
No problem.
Now let's